You know, it's pretty funny, and I probably shouldn't laugh at this, but I realized this last night when some person tagged me about the Vegas Golden Knights last night. There's an overwhelming contingent of people who have no clue about hockey at all. Like, I know I joke sometimes, like, oh, many of you watch basketball and you come here just to get your hockey bets, but I still feel like if you're a sports fan, there's a kind of a lingering knowledge about it, kind of like what I know about the NBA. It's not like I know absolutely nothing, but there are those people who are betting on anything and everything. They're betting on cricket, they're betting on CFL football. And I just found it so funny that some guy who knows nothing about hockey is cursing out Mark Stone for shanking a breakaway last night, which is what 4 breakaways the Golden Knights had. I told you yesterday, hey, there are certain bets. Not that I'm happy to lose, but if I lose, I don't have to think, oh, what was I thinking? You want to know what I was thinking? That the Vegas Golden Knights were going to control the play, which they did, and they ran into a completely hot goalie. So, guy who was cursing at Mark Stone, he didn't do anything to you. Leave him alone. But just know that unlike pretty much every other sport, the only kind of equivalent I could think of is maybe like a pitcher in baseball, but you can't really outplay the other team. Maybe like parking the bus in soccer when they just sit everyone back and hope that you make one mistake and counter. Many times in hockey, a goalie can be the mitigating factor, and Washington's was standing on his head last night, playing unbelievable. Washington just on their home ice, clinging for dear life to that 1-0 lead all game, and we're able to get that empty netter. So I'm not too upset about that, even though I know that guy on Twitter was. And then as far as the other bets went, that game did go under. The Ducks game did go under. I got to give those Ducks credit. They were down 2-0. That was a legitimate win. They came back and won. Crosby with the Penguins win. Another $1,000 for you on Caesars same game. Those Caesars same game promotions are really, you guys, I'd like to say you're taking advantage of it. Hopefully you are, but you really haven't, because those Caesars bets that I'm giving you, whether it was the night before, Makar with the Avalanche, that was a hit. Crosby with the Penguins, that was a hit. So I'd like to say, hey, you guys are really taking advantage of that promotion, but really you're just somebody who went over to Caesars, bet $1,000 and won $1,000 from some of the Caesars same game parlays. Now, if you haven't utilized it yet, tonight's going to have to be the night because of the picks that I like. I made a promise to you guys earlier in the year. I'm going to do everything I can not to give you money, because I know if you guys are watching this video, 2 things. You're all parlay pirates, and 2, you never want to take a minus. You never had your car. So what I'll always try to do is utilize these Caesars same game parlays to knock these prices down like we did with Crosby last night. And just in case you need a reminder as to what the promotion is, your first bet on Caesars, if you're a new user over there, is risk-free up to $1,000. You bet $800 on something tonight. Do you want to know what it is? It's Carolina plus. I'll tell you in a second. But if you bet $1,000 on that and you happen to lose because a goalie stands on his head, well, guess what? That $800 bet is going to be waiting in your account in the form of free bonus bets, as long as you're over 21 and located in a state or province that has Caesars, and sports betting is obviously permitted. But always remember, if you have a gambling problem, just call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. So this Carolina Hurricanes game, this is obviously a situation where I want to take Carolina. You guys know how I felt. I marked the low point of their season. I said, it ain't going to be any worse than this. And since then, they've done a whole hell of a lot more winning than they have losing. They've only lost 2 games, a squeaker to the Rangers on the road, who are always kind of their kryptonite, and then one other game that was close kind of halfway through, and then the Panthers pulled away. But they've won every other game outside of that. I don't know what the exact record is, something like 6-2. They're playing the Flyers. They went into Philly in a tough game and beat the Flyers. I obviously like them to beat the Flyers in this game. However, we don't want to be even me and Miss Lippy don't want to be taking anything upwards of minus 240. So I completely understand. There are a couple different options. If you go to Caesars, you know the 101 if you're taking the Carolina Hurricanes, and that's their semi-star. They have no true stars, but Sebastian Aho. Aho with the Carolina Hurricanes you're taking that line and you're bringing it all the way to even money. That would be probably my favorite one there. But also, if you want to go over 2.5 shots for Aho, if you look at Carolina, the Hurricanes metrics, they get more pucks to the net, and they're such a good possession team, and they're always holding on to it. He's a great bet. And then maybe, if you want to go and take a ride with me and bet the under on Konechny. Oh, why would you do that today? Hey, it must be plus money. That's crazy. I just came up with that. So I'm going to take a little gamble here. I'm going to take Carolina to win and the under on Travis Konechny. Yes, their best player. I'm taking the under on his points. You don't even need, that's a plus money bet in and of itself. But I'm going to take Carolina with the under on Konechny's points. Yes, I understand it's a gamble, calculated gamble. I trust Carolina playing good defense on their own home ice. Philly was able to only get 2 on them in their home building. I'm imagining, and I understand the goalie situation, that Carolina is goalie proof. I don't care who the hell they have in there. Doesn't matter to me. But I'm going to take Carolina in that game. I also want you to hold that. If you don't want to use the Caesars same gamer and you just want to take the money line, I got something else for you. Something from my hometown. Remember my hometown the other night? How much money did my hometown make you? I brought the Islanders to your table, and they just gave you money across the board with all those Edmonton bets. And we're going to revisit some of those in just a second. The other game that I want to take is the Colorado Avalanche, and they're playing the Ducks, who just played last night. I commend the Ducks on that effort, but Colorado, who exploded in that third period against the Cockroach Kraken, felt good to get them as always. I like Colorado coming home, obviously beating the Ducks. The question is, how am I going to get them? Because now they got, you remember Makar? We've been beating that one to death, and now they got his point total at 1.5. So we're going to have to look elsewhere. And I'm not going to take somebody on the Avs. If I were to take someone, it would probably be Ryan Johansson. He's coming around even money for that point. And if you put those two together, you obviously got a nice price. I'm taking the under on Anders Lee on the New York Islanders. Yes, Anders Lee, the under on his point prop. Why is that? Go look up his game log. He had the third line demotion. He's not on the top power play unit. In order for him to come through, the third line essentially needs to click. The third line currently as constructed is him, Pajot, and Oliver Wahlstrom. And if you don't do it tonight, because something tells me the Isles always play well in Vancouver. They lose every game on these Western Canadian trips except the ones in Vancouver for whatever reason, even though I'm not trying to be one of those historical guys. But the under on Anders Lee, if you put that with the Colorado Avalanche money line, you're getting that at plus money. So a third liner on a team who hasn't been scoring at all to not register a point with the Colorado Avalanche to beat the Ducks, that gets you at plus money. Then the other guy on that line, John Gabriel Pajot, if you take him with the Carolina Hurricanes, those two together, that's also plus money. That's how you bless your bets. Put in the Islanders doing poorly, and it's like sprinkling a little blessing on some of these bets. But like I just said, I don't know if I want to bet against the Isles. The good news, the Isles are going to be bringing you money. We're going to be betting against them tomorrow. How do you like that for a little preview? And that means we're going to be taking the cockroaches. You know, sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that whole thing, that's what we're going to have to look forward to. Now you're probably wondering, what do you mean? But the cockroaches are on this slate. Don't you want to bet against them? I know Edmonton made us some money the other night, but I watched them. Did you watch them? I wasn't particularly impressed. Were you? I mean, they squeezed out that. If it wasn't for some Sorokin soft goals, they did not look that great. So I'm going to stay away from picking a side or total, but I do think after McDavid started to get a little more involved, scored a goal, had an assist, I want the over 3.5 shots on goal for him. And if you want to rip a same game parlay, give me the over 0.5 point for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who was his line mate and obviously his power play line mate. So give me over 3.5 shots on goal for McDavid, and then the over 0.5 point for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That's what I got for you here on this Wednesday. Good luck to you, of course. Better luck to me, of course. Make sure you're subscribed here to the Odd Shopper channel. You come follow me on social media. I'm sure you won't regret it. Also, subscribe to my YouTube page. You can do that by clicking on my name. You're going to see Andy Francis in blue. That will take you to my YouTube page. You subscribe to me there. Then on Friday nights, I do a longer form show where I can get into how I formulate some of these things. It's called Pick and Corner, so you can check that out on Friday. I will see you guys tomorrow for some Thursday sniffs. Take it easy.